Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of my podcast. Today is a very special day because if you know the Southeast Asian guitar industry, if you keep track of that, you know this person. Today I'm going to talk to Alif Putra from Singapore. Hi Alif.
Hey, buddy. Hi, how are you, sir? How are you feeling, man?
Yeah, so how are you doing these days with the lockdown and the COVID? How are you
Uh,
coping?
I'm coping very well, to be honest. In a nutshell, um, on the outer layer,
Mm,
yes, the world is at a stage where it's chaos, right? I mean, the pandemic, the lockdown, everything, business, finance, everything is on hold, right? And that it's somewhere that it's beyond my control because I there's nothing that I can do to say, hey, you know what, just stop.
mm,
That it's beyond my control. But on the inner side, I think it's a good time for individuals, especially musicians. As a musician or as a guitar player, you have been gigging a lot. You have been doing shows, and you lose that thing where it's about spending time with your loved ones. you know
right.
so I think this is a good time for us to actually spend time with our families, recap back on the things on what we want to do. you know and then, like, writing some songs, thinking about the next big plans. So I'm doing well. I have no complaints. I've been staying at home. Lucky for me, I have my own little junk studio, they call it. I can still, perform a bit. I can still play my guitar. I can still do online teaching. So everything is good, man. Everything is good. Yeah.
I really like your studio, man.
Thanks. As you could tell, I mean, did this is not as much as yours. Yours is like a big wardrobe of all the lanyards. But yeah, this is just a few of this. So yeah, we have the Slash, we have the Vi, and everything. Yeah.
Right. Alif, I think I think first got to know you. I think I heard about you. I think maybe in 2014 when I
Oh
heard
wow.
the news about you performing with Steve Vai. That's the first time I heard the name Alif Putra, and
Wow.
then
Yeah.
I saw you perform first time. I think in 2017 when you performed at Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh
You
wow. Yeah.
opened for Tyler Bryant.
Oh yeah. Tyler Bright. Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow. Really? Wow. That was like
Yes.
wow, 4 or 5 years ago, man.
Yes.
Wow.
But I think we first talked to each other. I think I introduced myself to you in
Richie Kotzen.
Richie Kotzen's show, right?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yes, yes. That was in 2017? Oh
Yes,
no.
17,
17,
2017.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Later,
still have
later
the
part of
lanyard. I don't know
2017.
where's the lanyard. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 2017. Yeah, we say hello. We took a picture with Ross. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome, man.
It's
Wow.
been yeah, it's a few years already. And then last time I went to see you guys perform at Walla Walla, your Peep show band.
Yes, Peep Show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were in Walla Walla. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why were you there though? Oh, is it because of Slash?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I last time I was there for that time was for Nickelback because you guys went to Nickelback also, right?
Yeah, 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 Nickelback. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Nickelback. I see, I see, I see. Yeah, Nickelback. Right, 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 right. Wow,
So
my goodness.
I'm curious, Alif, that can you tell me little bit about what was your earliest memories of music and what bands did you listen early on, and how did you got into playing guitar?
Well, I started listening to guitar playing. I don't know, since I was what? Since I was 6, 7, probably younger. I don't know, because my brother, he's in a band. He's a drummer in a band. Funny thing. He's a drummer in the band, and he was listening to all of this classic, old school punk like Sex Pistols.
Right.
What else, man? I mean, Rancid. All this punk. You know, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but and then he would bring a guitar home because his band at that point of time they were writing on songs. So he had this acoustic that it was all torn out. The strings were like so rusty. The guitar would be at the end, at the corner of the room. So every day or every night before I go to bed, I would just stare at it. I'm like, what is this guitar doing there, right? So after like about 3 6 months, I picked it up for the first time. I picked it up, and then I put it on my lap, and when I strum it, there's this there's this there's this blow of ash and blow of dust from the strings. Like, yes, finally someone played me. So I have to wipe the string down, to let the rust away. And then from that point of time, I felt that connection between me and the instrument, and no one knows that I love the guitar that much, because I would actually still, or I would actually hide when there's no one home. I would pick up the guitar and play, and
Right.
when there's someone home, I wouldn't like, because I don't want to tell them that I played, I played the guitar. So that was my first introduction of what guitar is. And then as years goes by, my brother left the band because he need to figure out what is more important. Is it passion or life, or money? So he quit the band, and then I start to follow through. Funny thing is that I've always wanted to have an electric guitar because the sound of it, and his guitar back then when I was playing, it was a nylon acoustic guitar. So
Right.
I was listening to Rancid and playing it on a nylon string. I'm like, doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense. So back in those days, I think you've heard this platform called Napster. I remember Napster, right?
Yeah.
I download Napster. And the first thing I typed was guitar solo, right? The first thing I typed was guitar solo, and then a list of guitar players and the name of their songs just popped out, right? So the first one, I just click and download without even looking at the name, right? So I click and download, and then surprised me. Little did I know that the song that I download was called "For the Love of God," Steve Vai. So I'm like, wow, who is this guy? Look at, wow, right? What does he? Wow, for the love of God. Can you imagine that, right? For the love of God. And then back in those days, we used to rent a VHS. Do you remember
Yes.
that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
VHS. And a few blocks away from me, there's this place where we can rent. So I went in, and before I actually enter, there's this poster of, okay, what's the next movie they are gonna release, right? And then there's movie called La Bamba.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, La Bamba sounds, I don't know, sounds interesting. I don't know why, but the word La Bamba. So I ran the tape. I bring back home, and it's all about it's about guitar. I'm like, wow, this is so cool, right?
Yes.
Do you remember the whole thing when he first picking up the guitar? He was playing that song, and he went with his brother to play a show, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
So I was inspired, and then on I said to myself that, you know what, I want to be like him. I don't want to die like him, but I want to be him, like like the evolution of playing the guitar and whatnot. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. So in that movie, I ran that movie for nearly a week. I was in due because I need to send back the tape for 1 week. If not, I have to pay fine, right?
Right.
So, so there was this one day. I think I just let the whole movie finish by itself, unconsciously. So right after the whole credit, the movie was showing what's next. Okay.
Okay.
And then suddenly I felt like somebody grabbed me by my throat and just, hey, you know what? You need to look at this. You need to look at this video. And so I did. And then suddenly I saw this guy from the Karate Kid movie
Yes.
battle with one guy who's playing the guitar that I've never seen before. And the sound and everything, I'm like, wow, who's this guy? And the last bit, he actually smashed the guitar down. And I'm like, what movie is this, right? This is so cool. And then the movie turned out to be Crossroads.
Right.
So, you know, I'm like, okay, everything is all linked. Like, I fell in love with this song called For the Love of God, which I don't know who's the, you know, who wrote it. And then in the visual eyes, I love this guy who plays this Jack Butler, right?
The Devil's
So-
player, right? The Devil's guitar player.
There you go, there you go. So it just, you know, it just gels up together, and then, you know, that was inspired me to actually pick up the guitar and play. So, you know, yeah, Steve Vai has a lot of big impact on you know, on me in a lot of ways. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, that's how I, you know, that is how I started, and funny thing, right? Crazy. Oh my
Actually,
God.
I discovered Steve Vai also from that. I saw a YouTube clip of that movie.
There you go, there you go. Yes, exactly. Yeah, same here, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's this guy? Right? He was playing the whammy ball. He was doing that, and he was I'm like, what? Who's this guy? Crazy.
So what was the first first song that you completely was able to play via the guitar that you practiced? What was the first song? Full song.
I think it was La Bamba. I think it was La Bamba. I mean, you know, it's an easy chord. It's just C and then F, G, blah blah blah.
Right.
But the whole thing, the whole riff, dun, 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 dun. I mean, when you were 7, that is like a milestone. Like, wow, if I can do it, I'm a complete guitar player.
Right.
So I did that. That was the first ever song, and then after that, I went straight to For the Love of God. Can you imagine that? For the Love of God, yeah, Love of God, crazy.
How much time did it take for you to do the Steve Vai song, to practice it, to be able to play it?
Years. Yes, I mean now I'm still, you know, whenever I play it now, I'm still, you know, I'm still twitching a bit because it's based on a habit that you know, you've grown up with. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and then to watch him play that song effortlessly, it's another level. You know, I mean, just to talk about the song itself, For the Love of God, you need to be in that deep state of meditation,
Right.
sort of will, to play that song, and then you have to be connected to it, and then the emotion. It's not easy. It's not a song where you can just jam. You know, it's not a song where I give you 8 bars, you can do whatever you want. No, every little notes. And I remember it because, you know, when I first started to play the song, I don't know what is the mechanic of it. You know, like, okay, the whammy bar, I do not know. I do not know. When I first got my first electric guitar, I didn't know that 24 fret it's essential for the song itself. I do not know, but it works. And the pick and everything, I do not know. I just play unconsciously, because if I would to play with a conscious mind of, oh, how does he do that, I won't get the whole juice, right? But that on the first part. But now when you play that song, and to have that feeling like him on stage effortlessly without even looking at guitar, that is something else. I mean, till today, when I look at him play, I mean, like, what? This guy have reached that level, crazy. So yeah, that
What
is
are,
the mm,
so Alif,
the
what was the other artists, other bands that you were influenced by other than Steve Vai?
I was listening to Metallica. I was heavily influenced, not heavily influenced, but my brother back in those days from punk, he would bring back the Black album, you know,
Okay.
and like everything from Metallica, right? The Lightning and this stuff. It's like a it's like a lullaby for me. When he comes home, he would blast the speaker, and I'm like, master. And I'm like, what the hell, right? And then Fade to Black and Nothing Else Matters and all these kind of songs were actually were giving me input. But on myself, I was listening to. I like the sound of Pantera. So that big heavy sound. I'm like, wow, what is this? So bands, I would say Metallica and Pantera. And then as years goes by, I start to open up to new songs. My friend will let me hear Appetite of Destruction and all of this kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, oh wow, that's great. Yeah, and then back to guitar players, probably like Jimi Hendrix. I mean, whoo, that's another level, right there. Led Zeppelin, and then like most any other kids, when you are born in the 1980s, you have to go through Linkin Park, you have to go through Korn, you have
Yeah.
to go through Limp Bizkit, right? So that was the evolution of the seven string. So yeah, it's great. I love it. Right.
So from a guitar player, how did you become like you're kind of like a guitar head as well, right? You're into equipments, you're into instruments.
Oh
How
yeah,
is
yeah.
that? How that came to be? And then can you also tell me little bit about those days in Singapore? How to get a guitar? Is it easy? Was it easy? How was the industry back then?
Oh sure. Well, okay. Let's talk about the gear first, okay, and then we can talk about the. So I'm a gear freak since I was young. I like to see things that have a lot of colors, right? So, and I can step on it. It makes me 7 years old again. I don't know why. And I've always been accused by the guitar player who love complexity, but I'm not. I'm a very easy guy. I just love to have a clean sound and drive sound with delays and whatever. And that's it. And for the amps, I like to keep it simple. I love the sound of the Marshalls and whatever not. So when it comes to gears, um, and then as years goes by, your years evolve. So the X, right? I'm heavily playing the Les Paul now for some reason. I don't know why. I think my ears just tuned to that sound. Back in those days, I was using the Ibanez Gem, um, you know, Steve Vai signature switch, and then I have the seven string, and then I have the J custom, and then there was this point of time I was using the Strat, you know, and then the Telecaster. That is because of Richie Kotzen. So we need to talk about that later on. So yeah, pretty much that's it. So if you the second question, how was the industry back then to buy a guitar? Well, um, I have to say, back in those days, the guitar is much more cheaper than now. You know, I think it's because of the taxes and you know how the world makes money, blah blah blah. But back in those days, I think guitars are everywhere. I mean, it's not just we have our big label. We have our big boy Swilly, right? So Swilly is the main distributor that brings a lot of guitar, like Strats and Les Paul, Ibanez, name it, right? But now it seems to be it's scattered around. Even we have the boutique guitars coming in. We have the Sir, you know, we have the Tom Anderson, everything. Um, and when it comes to how are we gonna, is it easy for us to get guitar back in those days? I think yes, because guitar is everywhere, and the era that we live in, um, it's music oriented with instrument. If you know what I mean, like you know, I mean, like back in those days, people are listening to Van Halen, people are listening to White Snake,
Mm.
just to just to say that. And guitar, it's a thing. Everybody wants to play guitar, right? So the market is even much more bigger. Now you don't hear guitar in most of the pop songs nowadays, right? I mean, you hear deuce deuce deuce. So the guitar market for itself, it's harder. So there is less viewing or to
Mm.
buy. But to compare back then and now, it's relatively the same because now it's more about you can buy guitar online. You know, you can just order guitar, bloop, ship, hello, guitar. Back in those days, you have to go to the shop and try it, and I think that is much more interesting because you don't know, and then when you see a guitar, you're like, oh my gosh, beautiful! What is that? I've never seen such thing before, right? So it leaves that oh, I'm so excited to see the guitar. Right now, I can just Google what guitar do you want. Okay, okay, that's guitar, right? So it's a pros and cons.
Right.
You loses the excitement, and you know that excitement. Oh, you have to touch the guitar and try and play. Oh my god, that sounds so good. Oh, right. Now it's just about okay. I want to buy a Strat. What Strat is? Oh, this is cheap. Okay, I just buy it without even you trying to test it. So different different era works in a different way. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I notice, you know, I go to Singapore a lot. So when I go to like Peninsula or
Yeah.
Brasa, you know, I see all the guitar shops and the music instrument shops, and you will see the metalheads. You know, the not all metalheads, but the guitar players. They hang around the shops. They keep on
Oh
trying
yeah.
the instruments.
Oh
It's
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, it's a very healthy community, right, in Singapore.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, I have to agree with you on that because you know, I mean, even though we are a very small country to say at least, but the community of guitar player is it's healthy enough to say that we have a guitar community. You know, we would go out. You know, we every guitar shops in Singapore will know you somewhere somehow. If they don't know you, and then you are not a guitar player, you know, you know. So it people go into to the shop even though not buying. They just sit down and take a guitar and just strum. It's a community base. It's a movement. Is it like that back home in
No,
Philippines?
actually, that's the reason I ask you how was it then? Because coming from Sri Lanka, I originally from Sri Lanka,
Yes,
and
sir.
even in the Philippines, it's very rare that you will have very lot of shops, guitar shops, equipment shops. Very
Right.
rare. So that's why I really like Singapore because I can go, you know, browse through all this, buy
Hmm.
the picks, the guitar
Yeah.
straps, and whatever I
Yeah.
want, right?
Hmm.
So it's a very nice feeling. Now
It is.
going to Steve Vai. So I know that you were able to perform on stage with Steve Vai in 2014, right?
Yes, sir.
So this, I actually have a flyer from that show. This one, right? 20.
Oh my God!
Although I wasn't
Wow.
able to go to that show, I was actually in Singapore that year, and that's how I
Okay.
heard about you playing. So, can you
Right.
tell me that story? How you got, how that opportunity came up, and you know, to
Yeah.
play with Steve Vai?
Well, prior to that year, it was 2014. Now, I've met Steve in 2013 in Jakarta.
Mm.
So, same segment, built me a song, built me a song segment where he called, three people from the floor, bring up on stage, and Steve would do like, okay, hum me a bass tune, okay, and then hum me a drum tune, and then okay, now hum me the melody I supposed to play, and then done. So he would ask me. I mean, on Jakarta, he asked me to play the keyboard lines. Just play me some, and then I did. And then right after the show, we actually, I had a chance to actually have my 5 minutes of gracious life to speak to him in 5 minutes. So imagine that 5 minutes I have to talk everything, like, okay, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? So we keep in touch, and then 2014, I knew that Steve Vai is gonna perform, and LAMC actually doing a guitar contest, and the guitar winner got to play with Steve Vai. And instantly, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna send my videos of me playing whatever that I'm gonna play, and then if people like it, people likes it, and then, So they choose top three winners from the video itself, and then we have to actually battle in front of the judges. So on the 2014, I did that. So I was playing Gravity Storm. I was playing Gravity Storm with my my lighted guitars. And then there's this kid who was playing Tender Surrender. Oh, amazing! He was flawless. The way he played at that age. Oh, he was beautiful. And then there's another guy who did For the Love of God. I'm like, that's it. These are like the kids, right? I'm like, okay, never mind. It's cool. So right after the whole competition, right after the whole competition finished, we have to wait for the results. And then the result was about half an hour because the judge need to sit down and, okay, who do you think? I'm like, okay, fine, no worries. And then right after half an hour, they said that they're gonna delay it for a bit. Now, when they say that, I instantly knew that, okay, I think Steve is on the way now. So that whole competition was held in Clarke Quay, this bar called Highlander, right? And then I'm like, okay, so they are gonna delay the results now. Okay, I think Steve Vai is gonna be here. I think, my gut feeling just was saying that I think Steve is here. And boop, there you go. 15 minutes after he came out, he came in and he said, okay, guys. And then he was invited up on stage with us. And the local judge, Mr. Eddie Cradle, was there. A few, Randolph was there. Everyone was there. So, okay, fine. So, he took a picture of us, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, okay, now why don't the winner that he chose me, why not the winner play me the song that he just did? So I have to play the song in front of him.
Right.
And he was like 20 feet away from me. I'm playing his song.
Okay.
And he requested me to play his song. Now I was all over the place. I was all over the place. The notes were wrong.
Yeah.
I am trying to put up a show. I tried to be relaxed, and then he was there like that. And then Dave Winner was there. Jeremy Colson was there, sitting down. Like, okay, what's this kid trying to do? So so it was funny. It was funny. And then and then he said to me, "Well, so we are gonna play right tomorrow." And I said, "Yeah, we are gonna play tomorrow." Okay, and then I said, "Okay, cool." So that is how it started. So do you want me to tell? Do you want me to tell you about the day itself too?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So the next day, I have to be at the show 1 hour before just to prep my things and whatever not. So I was there 1 hour. No, I actually was there 3 hours before because hey, it's Steve Vai,
Right.
right? So I was there 3 hours before. I was with a couple of my friends and we were queuing, and my friends were so pissed off. I said, "Why do you need to be here so early, dude? You are going to perform. Just chill, relax." So we went to eat and whatnot. So LAMC gave me a few tickets. So yeah, I was at the front row, looking up at Steve doing the show, where I know the set list. I know the songs. I know what is he going to do. So towards the last part of the show, I actually prepared myself. Okay, guys, you know what? I'm gonna go to the backstage. So there's a usher who bring me up to the, bring me up stage, and then okay, you need to be here. Just wait until Steve pronounce your name, and then you can walk in. I say, okay, fine, it's okay. I do this all the time. Just chill, relax, right? So there's no sound check. I know that I will be playing one of those marshals right there, but I do not know which marshals. Am I using Dave Winner's signal, or am I going through a new set of amps? I do not know. all I know now, my guitar is with me. I'm with a wireless body pack, and okay, there you go. I don't know. Okay, fine. And then so the segment comes on. Okay, guys, Steve was saying, okay, guys, I'm gonna do a song, and then he calls up one lady from Slovakian, and then one local lady from Singapore. See, I remember this. Can you imagine that? So these girls were doing what Steve told them to do, and okay, everything was good. And then he said that, okay, you know what? Last night I was in this club. I went. If you look at the video, right, he was saying that he saw me and he invited me up on stage to play with him. And then he called me up on stage with a wrong name. He said, "Oh, I would like to welcome Alif Putra." And then I'm like, "What? Dude, it's Putra. Putra in Spanish means, right?" So I'm like, okay, whatever. So as soon as I walked in, now check this out. As soon as I walked in, I shake his hand, blackout. I did not remember anything. I do not know what happened. I do not know how my body moved by itself. I do not know anything. What I can remember is like I wake up from this sleep and I look at his finger, and I told myself, dude, look at those fingers. They're so freaking long. And then I sleep back again. And that's it. And then and then he asked me to sit by the side, and I can watch the whole show by the side stage. And then it was crazy. I mean, to watch someone that you idolize since you were a kid, since you don't know music, right? I mean, his face is on my wall, right? And to meet a guy that actually, shoulder to shoulder, if you will, and to play with him, like really jam with him, it's another level. It's completely. I'm starstruck. I'm like a young boy that they're like, oh my god, it's Steve Vai. Right? So yeah, I mean, yeah, man, it's a long story. So yeah, that's how I start. That's how I get to know Steve, and we become friends after that. So yeah, yeah, cool.
So did you watch Steve Vai after that also? Did you watch the Generation X when they came to
Oh
Singapore?
yes, I did. Now, funny thing is, we spoke on email, and Steve was saying to me, "Am I okay to actually assist Thomas to do his setup because Thomas was feeling unwell?" So a friend of mine was working. I mean, his company is called Ibanez, right? So they
Hmm.
are the one that giving all of the tech riders and whatnot. And I have to borrow my X effects because Steve was using an X effects too. So I'm using the same one as him, but mine is on like a red B, just on standby, just in case. So I need to bring that one, right? So they didn't use it because everything is smooth. So I just need to assist Thomas on the whole setting up. I mean Thomas was so he was so nice that he actually share with me about a little stuff, little tips and tricks. Dude, Steve I pedalboard is huge, man.
Yes.
It's huge. It's huge, right? He have his whammy pedal, he have his wah wah, and then he have two wah wah, and then he have volume pedal, and then have the fan. He needs to have the fan, right? And then at the back he needs to run the M. Oh, if you say that I'm complex, you should look at his rig. Oh my god. So I was helping Thomas and assisting him to do that and watching him change strings for Steve. Now he have to change 4 guitar strings,
Right.
and he changed it for less than an hour. Or I would say 30 minutes. That precision, he was so there. He was so fast tuning. Wow, I mean, so yeah, I met Steve 2017 in Sentosa,
Yes.
Generation X. Yeah, I think that was the last one. And
Yeah, I was
yeah,
there.
maybe more.
Actually, I was there. I was able to. That's the first time I met Steve actually with the Generation X,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I saw the video. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I saw
and
the
then
video.
part of
Yeah.
part of that was for us to. We were able to go on stage and see the equipments,
There
and
you go. Yep.
I saw also Thomas. Thomas has been like very long time sound tech for Steve, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he has devoted his life with Steve for some. I mean, the way he there was this one story that I forgot to ask Steve or ask Thomas. Is it true that there was this show that Steve was saying that if Thomas Nodek is not there, I am not going to perform. To me, that's a big deal, man.
Right.
Someone who take care of your rig, and he knows more than Steve. From the way I see it, he understand the rig more than Steve Vai, because he knows he just tells Steve, okay, step on this. This is your wawa.
Right.
Step on this. But the whole thing of connecting to the amps, make sure that everything is working. That is just another level. Another level. Oh,
So he's kind of like a mastermind behind the rig, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, you're right. He's the father. He designed it, and then. So where are you now, Channa? Are you at home now, buddy?
Yeah.
Are you at home now? Are you at?
Yes, yes, I'm at home. I
Okay.
just want to show you a few Steve Vai albums. Actually, it's
Oh.
actually G3. So you know this one, right?
Oh
G3
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nimam
Yep,
Steve.
rocking the free world. Oh yeah,
Yes, that's actually Rocky the Free World. Yeah, I like
yeah,
that one. This
yeah,
G3, and
yep.
then I have also this one with Eric Johnson.
Oh, this was the first one. Yep, I
Yeah,
remember this clearly.
they
Yep.
play Red Horse together, right? Red
Yeah,
Horse.
Red House.
Red
Yes,
Horse.
yes, yes. Crazy.
Out of Steve's albums, this is actually my favorite. The Why.
Ah,
Texas
okay,
Division.
okay. Why do you?
I fell in love with the song in my dreams actually
In my
because
dreams.
it's so amazing song. Huh? And
Oh
then
yeah, it is. It is.
you remember the music video of that is so crazy.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to get this. Yeah, when I met Steve, I just wanted to get this sign. And then
Oh
after few years, I met Devin, so I asked Devin to sign.
yeah. Oh, yo, perfect man. That is a complete. There you go. Complete
Yeah,
man.
it's a very precious item that I have.
Oh yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know that Steve. Steve started actually. Steve started as he was doing the the transcripts for Frank Zappa, right? He was like
Yeah.
doing the transcripts, and then I know that Steve actually got lessons from Joe Satriani. Is that the case?
Oh. Oh yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true though. It's true. Steve was 14. Joe was 16 or
Right.
17. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, because Joe also, I think Kirk Hammett, then Alex of
Yeah.
Testament, and also right,
Yeah.
there were so many guys who learned from Joe
Joe. Yeah.
Satriani,
Did
right?
you met Joe? Did
Yes, I
you?
did. I did. So Joe actually, he had a 2017 tour, the Supernova tour. So I was Shockwave Supernova. So
Right.
I was able to meet him. Uh,
Right.
yeah, that was a very nice show. He had Marco Miniman on the tour with
Oh
the
yeah.
drums. That was a good, very awesome lineup.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
actually,
Different
Steve,
level.
out of Joe Satriani, I would just like to show you the. This was the tour, right? Shockwave.
Yeah.
Shockwave Supernova.
Super. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I think this is probably you like this album also, right?
Oh yeah. Of course. This is the this is the birth of what aliens supposed to sound like. You know, like what the
Right,
hell is
right.
that? Right? Yeah. 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 I remember that. I remember that surfing the alien.
Joe
Oh, I remember
Satriani,
that.
yeah, I didn't feel that he's that old. He looks so young. He looks so fit.
Yeah. I know, right? Funny, right? I think because of the hair, though. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's bald. He's quite petite for a guy, and I
Right.
mean, he, yeah, he looks like what 45. Yeah, he looks young, isn't it? I
Yes.
mean, compared to Steve, but he looks younger, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then 2017 was actually really good year for the metalheads because we had so many good shows. I kind of completed the G3 already in that year because I was able to see Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Petrucci, and then
Petrucci, wow.
Malmsteen, and then
Oh,
all of the
perfect,
guitarists, and then we met at the Richie Kotzen show. So,
perfect. Wow.
what's your influence, Richie Kotzen? Richie Kotzen influenced you? What was that
Oh
like?
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, Richie Kotzen, it's one of the most underrated guitar player to my eyes. I mean, he is so that good. Not only he can play, but can sing, man. I mean, his voice when he sings.
Right.
My knees got weak when he started to open his mouth. I'm like, what? Really? Come on, man! Don't do that. You know. But I mean, it's a big influence because like I said to you, there was this point of time where I started to actually play a telecaster before, right? I just need to understand the mechanism of it because I mean, I've been using the Ibanez jam since I was very very young,
Mm.
and then I'm so used to it. But when I look at how Richie played his thread or play his Fender Telecaster, the way he holds it, and he don't use as a pick. I'm like, what the hell? Like, he don't use as a pick. So that's where the movement start of me using the tele. I'm like, now I get it. Oh, okay. And then it's a whole different world. You see, you need to. The tele is like it respond to you. If you hit it hard, it will go hard. If you want to make it speak, it will make it speak. And I was amazed by it. But somehow I still need that big sound, right?
Right.
But he influenced me in a way to start singing. I mean, I, I still cannot sing, but you know, I mean, in a way for me to get closer to the mic. I mean, like back in those days, like if you put a mic in front of me, I would be there, not here, right? Right? But you know, he gave me that sense of confidence of, hey, you know, if a guy can do it, why not? I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, you can sing like him, but the idea of you singing, it's fine. I mean, if you look at Paul Gilbert,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he sings, but can you compare him with Richie Kotzen? No, 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 no. It's a whole different styles, right? It's a whole
Right.
different styles. I mean, Richie is a songwriter, guitar player, singer, right? Paul Gilbert is the same thing, but different zone, I would say. You know, more on the pop side, more on the indie side. So Richie Kotzen, yeah. I mean, the way he writes songs, the way he plays the guitar, his phrasing, the way he sing and play, it's not easy. I mean, if you listen to this song, Elevate by Wine Nutty Dogs, right? I mean, it's a three-piece band, and he's playing the guitar, and the parts that he's playing, it's a guitar player parts, you know, and he have to sing on top of that, you know. So
Right.
you have to split this. You have to split this part where this thing is just playing guitar and doing thing by its own. You are not thinking, and then this part here you have to sing, right? Oh, it's amazing. I mean, for me, looking at him, a guitar player and a singer, he is one perfect role model. And the way he sing, if you close your eyes, you think, oh my God, it sounds like Chris Cornell, you know, a bit like that,
Right.
right?
Very.
So yeah, and yeah, to me, he is the perfect role model, singer,
Yeah.
guitar player, you know.
When you were comparing Richie Kotzen and Paul Gilbert, Richie
Yeah.
Kotzen is very emotional. The songs are very emotional, right?
Oh
It's
yeah,
but
yeah.
compared to what Paul does more of a fun energy type of songs,
I
right?
agree. Yeah, I agree. Richie, it's more personal. You know,
Yes, very personal. Yeah.
he want to talk about his life. He want to talk about his pain, and he doesn't care if he is going to be, if he's going to want, if he's going to win the Grammy. He doesn't care. He just want to write songs that, you know. So Paul, on the other side, is a completely different beast. You know, I mean, he was with Mr. Big, and they were in the pop. You know, they were in the pop culture kind of stuff.
Mm.
So Mr. Big had, and there was this point of time where Richie Kotzen actually played with Mr. Big. Right?
Yes,
Did
yes,
you hear that? Right.
yes.
So yeah,
And
it's
he,
amazing. It's amazing.
yeah, and then Richie played for Poison also, right?
Poison. There you
One
go.
album,
Yeah.
and that album I
Right.
think one of the best Poison albums.
Actually, yeah. Actually, you're right. Yeah. Actually, you're right. Yeah. I was just listening to one of their song from one of the album. I'm like, oh my God, the guitar parts, crazy, bro, crazy, crazy.
Yeah, Richie Kotzen. This is the show that we met, right? This
There
one.
you go. I was looking at the lanyard. Is
Yeah, so
somewhere in there, somewhere in there. Yeah, nice guy though, right? Nice
yeah, yeah,
guy. You
yeah. He
see,
was
down
very
to earth,
nice. Yeah, he was very nice, very
soft spoken.
friendly.
Yeah, very one word guy. I'm like, hey, how are you? Hey.
So
Yeah.
Alif, so I know that you play in over the years several bands. So which bands are you playing right now?
Right now, right now, I have two bands involved. One of them, it's the original band that I have for many many years ago. It's called Aryan Band. Yeah, it's a Malay band.
Right.
We are moving to English now, and then most of the time I'm with Peep Show, and then Peep Show, it's it's both. You know, we are going to try to tap on the original scene now. We are gonna write our original songs. You know, where we are known to be very very much of a rock cover band. People knows us from there. Like when it comes to Peep Show, okay, it's a rock cover bands that playing in Walla and you know. But now we are shifting into a different angle. We are trying to write our original songs and try to let's see wherever the wind blows. You know.
Yeah, I saw you guys jamming Metallica right last night or
Oh
last
yeah, yeah,
night.
yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you
it
know,
was-
I mean, at this point of lockdown, we we are trying to do some content. You know, I mean, not only for ourselves but for the crowd who have not been seeing us for the past months,
right.
and it's quite a challenge because the four of us have completely different set of tools. Like okay, like me, I have this mic, I have a good camera that I can record. Okay, fine. Okay, you know, blah blah blah. But some of them do not have this kind of stuff. So it's very raw, right?
Right.
It's just taken from the phone. So to mix it, it's quite a challenge. But it's fun. See, you learn something new again. Like how to chop things. It's fun. We will. There will be more. I think there will be more in the next few weeks. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
finding inspiration from this lockdown to write new songs or do jams.
Um. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Do you get any inspiration because of the circuit breaker?
To write a song. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, a different side of you just emerge when you were thinking about, when will this end? How do this matters? So when that thing becomes an inspiration, not only you write song, but you do things. Uh, I start to get involved with the family more because of I'm inspired, and my wife is pregnant now. She's a 5 month pregnant. So
Wow,
so
congrats.
thank you, buddy, thank you, and I'm inspired to do things differently now. So when it comes to song, I'm inspired. Every now I would write down a snippet of songs that I have in mind and just okay, and then I would listen again. Oh, okay, that's fine. Let's do it again. Okay, you know. So yeah, inspired. Yeah.
That's cool. So before this COVID thing happened, I remember last time I was talking to you. You guys had some songs. You
Yeah.
were trying to put out an EP. So will
Mm.
that happened after the lockdown. We can see a Peep show.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think
Oh,
right after this lockdown, I think we are ready to hit the road. It's a pause thingy. So right after this, you could see us more with the EPs and whatnot. Yeah.
right.
Mm.
So Alif, so any message to you because Steve Vai is such a inspiration to you. So any message to Steve Vai?
Any message to Steve Vai? Wow. Well, I will see you very soon. You crazy guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will see him very soon.
Yeah, Alif. Anybody you want to shout out to, Alif?
Well, I want to shout out to everyone in Philippines that probably just get to know me for the first time. I have a lot of Filipino friends, musicians, AR guys, and Channa and I just want to say that stay safe. I just want to say that take care of yourself. We are living in a very hard situation right now. So just hopefully things will get better soon. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I like
buddy.
to thank you, Alif, for doing this with me.
Yeah,
When I
same
started
here.
this, I thought about you.
Hey,
I know
thank you.
you have a very exciting story.
Thank you.
So thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining, Alif.
Hey, no problem. I mean, when I saw you were interviewing one of our guys, Rob Weller. I mean, I'm
Right,
like, hey, that's a very nice thing to do. I mean, people like you support. And people like us is just supporting you to actually makes the content much more valuable. So
right.
blah blah blah, right, and I don't mind to actually share a little bit of my my little stories and blah blah blah. But it's fun, man. Hey, it's fun talking to you, bro.
Yeah,
It's
because
nice seeing you.
we can talk about music actually for hours, right?
I know, I know. I'm actually prepared to tell myself. I think the interview is gonna be 3 to 5. You know what? Funny. 2 nights ago, I was having this local the same thing podcast. We started at 9:45. We end nearly 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw that
And
the three
yeah,
guitars, right? Yeah.
right. And he went on and on and on. We talk about life and okay. Anyways, all right.
Because I got the idea because I miss going to the concerts, I miss seeing artists, and then I wanted to do this for some time, so I thought why not take the chance and do it, figure out all the technical stuff by myself,
Right.
putting it in Spotify and everything,
I
and
think you're
then
doing well, man.
I got so good response from everybody that I'm actually booked almost like to June, end of June already, all the weekends because so many guests
Wow.
wanted to come in. So
Wow.
I had to tell people, okay, please wait, I will schedule it because I have so many responses because I'm
Wow.
connected with Philippines music in Singapore and also in Sri Lanka because I always support the bands. I keep on
I
listening to
know.
them, supporting them.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
really appreciate that. And Alif, thank you very much, Alif. I congrats again for the baby, and
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you soon.
I will see. I will see you soon. I will see you soon. As soon as this thing goes down, and I will see you at the concert soon. I'm not sure who, but yeah, I will see you very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Hey,
Thank
okay,
you.
buddy. I see you soon, man. You take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Bye.
Can't stop on the gallery, I'm gonna feel with you. I'm gonna feel this day. To the battlefield, my bed, I'm down.